My mother threw away my graduation dress and my father condoned it.
What was wrong with the dress?
What's the deal, man? January 31st, 2025. I, 23 female, am about to graduate from college. The party will be in 2 months, but the photographic session will be next week. One of my goals since I entered my career was that when I graduated, I would use a dress that would suit me. Some might think that I could just rent a dress that I'll probably just use it once or two in my life, but I really mean it when I said that this was the moment I've been waiting for years. By the way, this comes from Kooky Blueberry 4770, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the last few weeks I had been looking for dresses in different boutiques. I went with several people in different times. One of them was with my mother. And that time, I found a dress that not only suited me like a glove, it was a light green, a long dress, and I immediately loved it. The problem my mother had, it had a low neckline.
Scandal.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Oh
No. You see, my mother is a modest woman. Someone who may be scandalized when a dress is above the knees or the neckline shows even a little bit of the cleavage. So despite that she admitted that the dress fit me, I shouldn't buy it as I might attract unwanted looks, especially as I have a big cup size.
Oh lordy,
Lord.
lordy. Just let her wear a dress.
Yeah, let her wear a dress. And that's the thing though too. When you've got a bigger bra size, it becomes harder and harder to hide the cleavage.
Everything is like quote unquote immodest, but
Yeah,
it's not actually. It's just different body types.
Exactly. I already have been to therapy about it, so some insecurities that affected her no longer affect me, but still I wanted to get to a middle point. I liked that one dress, and despite the fact that I was the one buying it, I wanted to make her comfortable. So I proposed that I use a shawl. I felt fine with it, and it might be useful if it's cold outside. And my mother agreed with that. With the green light on, I bought the dress, and a few days later, a shawl that would suit the dress. Everything was fine so far until 2 days ago, when I returned to home after returning from school from continuing my thesis, already working on that. I got something to eat, took a bath, and changed to go to work when I noticed that my dress wasn't in my wardrobe.
Oh no! Oh no!
What's going on? ICUs in the comments
put some
section right now.
ICUs, man. This is not looking good.
I put it there. I hung it up to avoid my cat's hair on it. It was there in the morning, so I was confused. I asked my siblings, and they didn't know anything about it. My father wasn't in the city, so I directly asked my mom, who was in the kitchen watching TV while cutting potatoes. Something like, "Mom, do you know where my dress is?" She said, "I threw it." Excuse me? What do you mean by you threw it? She said, "The garbage truck came today, so I threw it away." Excuse me? Why? Why did you throw it away? I swear I felt like crying in this moment. She said something like, "I wasn't convinced at all with that dress. That shawl didn't cover you at all, and your dad agreed with me. So yesterday, I bought you a suit for your photos and party." Oh. A suit is a very different direction to go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. It was already a huge crazy thing that like she's not going to let you wear this dress. I mean, you're probably like 21 at this point.
Yeah.
But instead of returning the dress, she just threw it away?
Yeah, what?
I'd be like, okay, well, you're freaking paying me. You're freaking paying me because I spent money on that.
Absolutely. And if she tries to pull the whole, "Well, I paid for the suit," well, that's not my fault.
I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah, that's not my money. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Because also too, it's like, I mean, do they have pictures of her wearing the dress? How was she able to show the dad that didn't cover?
What are you talking about?
And you already approved of it, mother. Excuse me. I couldn't believe what she was saying. I just ran outside, foolishly hoping that magically a black garbage bag would be outside. I didn't pay attention to that when I came home from school. But no. The garbage truck must have came early. I thought that maybe my mother was joking. Because why? Why did my parents do that? I thought they agreed with me. What about the money that I spent on that? I didn't ask anything from them. I bought it with the money that I earned working part-time in a bubble tea shop. Dude, you gotta work a while then to get to that dress.
Oh my God. I'd like demand. I'd be like, you have to pay me back.
Absolutely. And get me something that I actually want.
Yeah,
you gotta liquidate that. Yeah. I ran to my mom's room and saw her wardrobe, but nothing was there. As I was crying, she came in with a gray suit in her arms.
What is this? Abnegation? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. Why a suit?
Also, is gray? Like, typically they're white.
Come on.
If it's graduation.
Yeah, it was exactly the kind of clothes that my mom would choose for me. Usually I liked suits too. I used them when I was going for a conference to my college, but at that moment I honestly couldn't believe the audacity of my parents. especially my mother. When my father returned yesterday, he gave me a bunch of bills, around $300, saying that it was for the dress that my mother threw away. Okay, so we're getting some money back.
At least we got still awful, but
Yeah,
at least we
yeah.
got some money.
Some money. That way, my money would not be wasted. But that money felt dirty. I didn't want it.
Take it, man. Go buy yourself another dress.
Yeah, honestly.
Buy the same dress, man.
Yeah, there probably is the same dress
Yeah.
there. My father probably still felt guilty about agreeing with my mother, so he gave me that to make himself feel better. But of course, he didn't accept no as an answer. On the one hand, I understand where my mother is coming from. She bought that suit with her money, and she couldn't stop telling me about it since yesterday. She said that I would look better in the suit, but I haven't proven that yet, and that my green dress would have made me uncomfortable with the looks I would gain from guests or males.
Why are you assuming things? Why are you assuming things?
You don't know. You don't know that.
Why are you speaking for your daughter who wanted
Exactly.
that dress and bought the dress that she wanted?
Yeah, and I mean, if she's fine with like a low neck, then she's probably used to the looks.
Yeah.
And it's probably like, listen, you just,
I feel good in this
what it
dress.
is. Yeah, exactly. You can't always think about the looks of others. And as my father already gave me the money, I actually didn't lose anything. Half of me started to doubt, thinking that maybe she's right, and maybe I'm acting over dramatic.
Oh.
The other part of me wants to throw everything away, ignore that suit, and go and look for a second option the last week I have before the photographic session. So am I the a-hole if I do it? I don't know if I should just go to the photo session in the suit and ignore her, or ignore her, risking the same thing to happen again. I don't know if I would use those $300. As I said, it felt dirty to me, but I don't know where to get more money to do last minute shopping. So there are some relevant comments, but before we read those, what do you think she should do?
Dude, you're not the a-hole if you go and get another dress.
Absolutely not.
They threw out your dress, but I do have, okay, what you need to do, you take your $300, you go buy another dress that you like, that you feel good in.
There you go.
And then you hide that. Don't tell anyone about that dress.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm
like,
still
honestly,
going.
maybe even like have a friend put it in their closet.
Yeah.
Like,
or keep it in your car if you have your own car.
Anything like places where your parents cannot access it because they might steal it if it's in your wardrobe.
Absolutely. I mean, they did it before.
Yeah.
So
don't trust them.
Yeah. But there are some comments. Commenter number 1 says, not the a-hole. Can you use the money to buy the same dress again and hide it from your mother until it's time for pictures? Exactly. Maybe at a friend's house.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
Did you
look
just
at
freaking steal what I just said?
Dude, wow. Copier.
Copy
OP says, sadly, when I bought the dress, the seller told me that the dress was the last one with that design. At the time, I felt lucky that the dress was exactly my size and fit me well. But still, I'm deeply looking back on my relationship with my parents in general. I think I'll be looking for more options in the long term, not only with the dress.
Yeah, makes
She's
sense.
like, I'm looking for more options for parents.
I'm looking for new parents if anyone's offering.
But there is an update. Okay.
Woo.
All right. So that was January 31st. Now it's March 12th. Okay.
So
2025.
we're getting closer to graduation season.
1.5 months later. All right. So, hi. Honestly, I didn't expect doing an update. Neither did I expect having such attention when I made my first post a month ago. So, thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't answer all of you. I was overwhelmed with seeing the amount of comments. So, yeah. As I said before, I didn't expect to make an update, but I guess I need to vent. Yes, I had the photo session, and no, I haven't had my prom party yet. It's next month, but I guess I'll go for parts. I apologize in advance if this is long. I'm taking the opportunity to say my thoughts in this post.
It's okay that it's long.
So first, on the previous post, I don't have a close relationship with my siblings, even though that we've lived under the same roof for a while and lots of people do. We can talk about certain things as TV shows, movies, games, music, and other media, but we don't talk about our problems. That's the reason why I got surprised when my older sister, 26 female, offered me around $60. Where did this come from?
$60? Why is she offering you $60?
She told me that it was a shame what our mother did, that I looked good in that dress and I should look for something similar. Wow, so she knows about all the drama going on. It was a pleasant surprise, the fact that my sister approached me to show her support. I usually wouldn't accept the money. I don't like the idea of having a debt, but considering everything that happened, I felt grateful for it.
Very interesting mindset that OP has about her family.
Yeah.
I think of like, oh, I didn't want to accept the money that my dad gave me. I didn't want to accept the money that my sister. Like, it feels like they are very like tit for tat kind of family.
Yeah, interesting. So I used my free days next week to find something similar to my dress. As I said on one comment, as I expected, the dress I got before was the last one. When I got it, I felt lucky that the dress suited me so well, but that luck ran out on me. Still, I found another dress.
Woo!
Yay!
Huzzah!
It was a blue one. In my opinion, it wasn't as pretty as the green one, but it still suited me well. It was cheaper than the green one and was better than using my gray suit. So I bought it. Another thing that I didn't comment on is that I didn't want to use all the money I had. With the money my sister gave me, the $300 that my father gave me as compensation, and around $210 I saved before, I knew that I could buy an even more expensive one than the green one. But some of your comments made me think long term. I didn't comment on the previous post, but I was already planning to go to another state to start a master's. I like the field of investigation. My thesis is pretty much about microplastics and degrading process.
Ooh, that's important.
Yeah.
We need to get those out.
Absolutely. My original plan was to get my title and start saving money to move out, finalizing the year on the next cycle. When I told my parents my plan months ago, they told me that they supported me. They are with me financially and emotionally. But this experience with the dress made me wonder if that was really true. I know that moving out and using a dress are two completely different things, but my mother told me that she was fine with the dress, with the condition of using a shawl too, and then she threw it away. So it made me rethink about the control my mother has over my decisions. And I concluded that she was always like that. Just that I didn't notice it, as mostly she did what she wanted on things that I didn't think were very important. My father is no different. He's more passive than my mom, but he mostly agrees with her and tries to wash his hands by giving me or my siblings something in compensation. So it made me wonder if they truly support me moving out or if they're just pretending, waiting for a moment to tell me that I can't move out as something happened. Or maybe I should get my master's in our state despite the fact that I have no interest in the options here. Well, for that reason, I decided that I wanted to save the money. I already talked with my thesis advisor that if possible, I want to end the thesis sooner than originally intended. I started to look for scholarships too. I had pretty good grades, so I guess that can help the process. And of course, I preferred to save money on the dress. Some of you suggested that I should burn the suit in front of my mom, but despite making me laugh with the idea, I didn't do that.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
That's probably best
good.
that you
I
didn't
think
do
you
that.
should just throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah, just
Well, actually, I don't want to waste fabric, so maybe we can like Goodwill it.
yeah, maybe you could see
Red
if you
Cross
can
or
return
something.
it or
Yeah.
something. If
that's
the
true.
money returns to card or something like that. I don't
You'd
know
be
if
like,
you have
hey,
the
can I
receipt.
put this on this card, please?
Yeah, blue. Instead, I asked a friend to keep the blue dress at her house until the photo session. I didn't comment about it to my parents, and the day before the session, I went to my friend's house for the dress. It was obvious to say that my mom wasn't happy about the idea of me not using the suit. The moment I walked down the stairs, she told me that I made her waste money.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because you made me waste money when you threw out my dress.
Yeah. She didn't make you do anything. You were the one that bought that dress.
You were the one who threw out the dress that she already paid for.
Yeah, or you bought the suit. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, you are the one actively making the decision to waste money. She also told me that I would look more professional in that suit and that I wasted my dad's money on it too. Still, she didn't complain about the dress design. I guess she wasn't as triggered with this one as she was with the green one. It doesn't have a low cleavage like the green one did, but it has a Grecian cut. So I guess that was more acceptable in her eyes. That doesn't make me feel better though, to be honest. My father didn't comment on it. He just told me that I looked good, but I should put the suit on for the party.
Nope. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to a freaking business meeting. I'm graduating.
Exactly.
I want to be pretty.
I want to have fun. I want to be pretty. So maybe just wear the suit when you're applying to jobs.
Yeah.
Or interviewing with schools or something.
Exactly.
You know, there you go. You could still use it for that stuff. I already planned that they would appear on the photo session, so I didn't uninvite them. Again, long term, I can't stop talking with them until I move out. So they and my siblings went to the photo session with me. Last week, the photographer sent us the digital version of the family session. I'm not gonna lie, they felt bittersweet, but it's what I have.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk much about the dress with my parents for the next month. I have been more focused on finishing that thesis and working in that bubble tea shop to save some money. It's good to say that I'm finishing 1.5 months earlier than expected. Wow, that's a big jump.
That is a big jump for a
Great job.
thesis.
Yeah.
Having done a thesis.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
I'm sure. I have not done one. I already had most of the experimentation from last year, so it was mostly bibliographic research and a few experiments to see its replication. If everything goes well, I'll be presenting next
Nice.
Wow. During this month, I made several exams too. TOEFL and the first 2 tests to enter into a master's.
Exciting.
My objective is to gain a good scholarship so that I can move out before finishing the first part of the year. I feel kind of rushed, but I won't follow my original plan because I haven't talked about it with any member of my family either. I've been thinking about talking about it with my older sister, but I'm still deliberating. So, about the party, I will be using the blue dress. Maybe I'll use the suit someday, but right now I can't think about it. I still relate the suit to my parents and everything that it entails. The green dress topic still tastes bittersweet to me. Like, in a way, it was Pandora's box, and a very pretty Pandora's box. But I'm not going to lie, I am still kind of nervous about the prom. It's the day I've been expecting for years. Despite the bittersweet taste, I can't help but feel expectant. And by the way, I expect you to check out full episodes with more stories just like this one on your favorite podcast app. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you choose. Just search OK Storytime and
Do it.
look at all that.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah, there's a little bit more. But do we have any final
I feel like
thoughts?
you're taking the right steps. You got the dress that you wanted in the end, or like at least the second dress that you wanted in the end. It seems like you're realizing that you need to limit contact with your parents, which I think is a good idea, and maybe save up to like do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, it seems like you just can't rely on your parents for any sort of help consistently, you know.
Yeah, not with this stuff anyway. Like I have heard of a lot of situations where it's like people either have controlling parents or have like a weird relationship with their parents, but then they move out for school and then it's like so much better.
Yeah.
Because now they don't have all this say in your everyday life, but you obviously still they really won't realize what they have till it's gone kind of a thing. I'm sure they appreciate you anyway as their daughter, but like
hopefully.
Yeah, it's definitely better that they won't have like all of that involvement in your life.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'm glad you didn't sacrifice your pretty dress. And I'm glad you did what you wanted because in the long run you would regret it. So
true.
Yeah.
Don't wear that gray suit.
But there is a little bit more. So some of your comments on the previous post made me laugh and the other ones made me rethink about my plans for my life. To be honest, I think if I didn't post on here, I would just use the gray suit to avoid any problems and I wouldn't see the big problem here. So thank you, unknown people of the internet. LOL. Maybe I'll post if something big happens, but if not, consider everything has gone well. Again, thank you. And that is the end of that story.
Woo.
That was a nice ending.
I think I figured it out. Hope you got to get a dress. Didn't have to pay for it.
Exactly. Good job, internet, for supporting OP. Boom.
But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode.
Yes, it is.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.